Hey, good afternoon.
Hi.
Can I have a moment of your time?
Sure.
I have an assignment to do for my class, and I need to interview somebody that's kind of in the same category with my degree. And my teacher said that I can use you because you're a behavioral specialist, so you kind of went through the whole kind of psychological background. So, do you mind if I ask you a few questions and I record this conversation?
Okay.
So I am actually starting the video right now. So you are being recorded right now. So say hello to my teacher.
Hello.
And can you tell her what your job or what your occupation is?
I'm currently a principal at an elementary school.
Okay. How did you land this position?
Um, I started off in psychology and ended up substituting at different schools, actually with kids with special needs, and then decided to do some research on students with special needs and then pursued a degree in that. So, and it just went from there.
Okay. What did you enjoy? What do you enjoy most about your job?
Making decisions that could impact students and teachers. I
That's
like having that ability to affect a positive change on basically the lives of young people and then also on the professional and sometimes personal lives of the adults as well.
that's pretty cool. You know that I appreciate you and everything that you do. So my next question for you is: do you work in a team or an independent environment? Well, I know that you work on a team, but for my
Oh no,
teacher.
yes, no. There's definitely power in collaboration.
Uh-huh.
So even though I would be considered to the lead person in my building, I am the leader. I do believe and embrace distributed leadership where I empower other people at multiple levels to make decisions within their purview. Um, they still need to run pretty much everything through me for the
Mm-hmm.
most part. But, I try to also get very familiar with my vision on things. It's student centered. So when you're making a decision, is it student centered? Is it about what we're doing to support the student? Because you would not believe it, but sometimes people make decisions that are adult centered or organizational centered. What's good for the organization, what's good for the adults within the organization, and not necessarily for the customer, or in this case, the student.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question for you is one of the hardest ones. What do you like least about your job? That's a weird one.
uh, it's the same thing. It's the opposite of the pendulum. All decisions rest and lie with me in the end. So I am responsible for the good and I'm responsible for the bad. I definitely um, take ownership, even if it may be the actions of one of my leadership people or one of my staff. I still own it. I tend not to, especially if it's involving the community, I don't let them take that ownership of some mistake they made by themselves. I own it with them. Now, of course, privately, I'll let them know how I really feel, but publicly, we stand together with the mistake. We both own the mistake and try to take corrective action.
Okay.
Um, it, so, at least it's just taking hits, I guess, for someone else's poor judgment or inappropriate action or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, that must suck. But we're almost done with this interview, I promise. I appreciate your time and thank you for giving me everything. So my last two questions for you is what was your major in college? Like describe specifically what you got, and then also please describe your career path to this current job.
I have 3 degrees that I've already earned, and I am actually pursuing another. My first degree was a bachelor's in psychology. My second was a master's in varying exceptionalities, which specifically speaks to students with disabilities. My third is a specialist in leadership with a specialization with students with disabilities. And the one I'm pursuing right now is executive leadership. So those are the degrees I had. My career path was being a teacher, first in the classroom at a regular school, regular public school that supported students with emotional behavioral disorders. Again, that's one of the categories for students with disabilities, which is students with emotional behavioral disorders. Back in the day, used to call it severely emotionally disabled. But now that it's changed in terminology to be a little bit more PC. So I started off the classroom in a regular school. Then I went to what's called a separate day school, which is basically these students are sent to this school due to the intensity of their behaviors via a staffing. And I was in a middle school setting, and I stayed there for several years until I moved to Orlando, and then was a dean at, again, another separate day school where the students are not able to function in a regular public school setting. It's still public schools. All of it was still public schools, but it was considered to be a separate day school for students with intense behavioral problems, and supported them there. And I was a dean there, and then became an assistant principal there, away from the work behavior for a little while, and went to a middle school as an assistant principal, and then ended back up at another elementary separate day school as a principal. This would be my third school that I'm at as far as being principal. I've been a principal now going on 8 years, and my third school, and the last 2 have been elementary schools. But these 2 elementary schools have what's called cluster sites, which basically we have a higher number of students with disabilities. So given that was my niche, those schools just were a better fit for me when they were looking for candidates because of my background within the world of ESD. So that's where I am now.
Well, thank you, Mom, for your time. And not Mom, but Dr. Carol Ann Clinton Martin, or soon to be.
Not yet. That's
soon to be. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your help.
All right, no problem.
Give me 1 second so I can pause the video, and hopefully it got it all.